Hey guys, so today I'm going to be redoing my beginning Wicca videos. Instead of having two videos, part 1 and part 2, I decided to just conjoin them, and instead of having some funky little glitch in the middle of it, I might as well just redo it. And so I have it on my computer, so I'm going to be glancing down, skimming through, because I don't necessarily remember everything from when I did the videos the last time. And also, keep in mind that these are my opinions, these are my beliefs on basically the steps that you should take on beginning Wicca. You know, there are no set rules, no set foundations, you basically have to make those yourself. So this is just my perspective, my views, my opinions, thoughts, feelings, yada yada yada. You get the deal. So basically the first step that I believe that anyone should make, no matter what spiritual path you're going on, is know your reasons why. Why do you want to get into it? Is there something that appeals to you? If there is, fantastic. If there isn't, find a reason why. You know, what appeals to you? What doesn't? Is it goddess, god, elements? It could be any number of things. You know, elements and deities aren't the only things represented in Wicca. There are so many different things. But you can't just say, you can't just know. You have to know your reasons why. You have to have something to put forth, especially if you decide not to tell people and they ask you why. You have to give them something. You can't just say because, or because I want to. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't. For some people, such as myself, it feels like home. You know, you come to your place, you're comfortable, you're centered, and you just feel at peace. You just feel at home. You know, goddess becomes your mother, God becomes your father, and everyone around you becomes your brother, your sister, or whatever. You know, we're all connected. And it doesn't matter what path you're on, mind you, research other paths because Wicca may not be for you. I mean, there may be something that appeals to you, but might not be you. So you're gonna have to try and find what fits you. You know, you can try and make yourself fit it, but it's not gonna be the same. I can guarantee that it's not gonna be the same. But no matter what path you're on, you can still enjoy the elements. You can still enjoy the moon, the sun, the trees. Elements are always around us, no matter what. You know, it's inevitable for us to experience the elements. There are foundations such as Earth. Earth is the most physical element there is, which is why it's our foundation. Anyway, moving on, as I already have begun to ramble. I'm sorry. Number 2. Very, very simple, but it can be a painstaking process, is know your history. You have to know it. Even if you think that you already do, research it anyway. I mean, even if there's something that you don't like about it, find out why. Why don't you like it? I mean, one of the biggest issues that we had in history for Wicca, paganism, whatever, is the witch trials. Now, a lot of us don't like that. I know that it used to bother me, but it happened. You can't change it. You just have to move on and make the future better. So, if that makes sense. Skimming. Oh yes, research, practices, and beliefs. Ask why. Why do they do the things that they do? Why do they believe the things that they believe? You know, don't be afraid to ask. And if someone isn't willing to answer your question, go and find someone who will. I mean, there's guaranteed at least one person out there who is willing to answer your questions. And if you can't find them in the real world, the physical world, go on the computer. And what I mean by physical and real was, local. Nearby. But, yeah, go onto the internet. Internet's there for a reason. Technology is bad, but at the same time, it is fantastic with communicating with other countries and other people around the world. It is an amazing tool that you can utilize. So, such as, right now. Okay. So, goddess. Basically introduce yourself to them. Once you've, known your reasons why and the history, introduce yourself. Because it is very, very important that if you're going to be pagan, you need to cultivate that relationship, I'd say, early. I mean, a lot of people won't feel anything at first, but don't get discouraged. Sometimes it is a trained ability in order to be able to feel the energies, because we have been so detached from the spiritual world. We're so consumed in the physical and in materialistics that we don't feel those energies. Like, our mood changes, like maybe with the weather or something, but we don't notice that it's the weather that's changing our mood. That's the energy around us. We don't feel the pulsing vibrations of the earth coursing through our veins. So it is a trained process, and and if you want, ask goddess, God, a question. Remind you, ask them in order to make it clear and obvious, because a lot of times, goddess will answer in her own way, mostly symbolically. Like, you have to really look for the answer in order to be able to find it. But you can't, it's so difficult in order to explain this. Like, not explain it, but in order to give a basic understanding of what it is that I'm trying to say. Basically, you can't expect it. If you expect it, you're gonna miss it. But if something happens, keep it in mind. Think about it. Think about, why is this happening? But don't dwell on it. You gotta have that balance. It's so difficult in order to explain, but once I get the words, I'll explain it. Yeah. Sorry for rambling yet again. My speech is starting to screw up again. Another thing is, elements. Go outside. You need to be outside. You need to feel the rhythms of the earth. Feel the air around you. Breathe deeply into your frame. Feel it. Feel the air fill your lungs and fill your body. Go out and dance in the rain. Feel the drops upon your skin. Go out in a nice sunny day. Feel the rays on your skin. Feel the warmth. Experience the light. maybe if you want, you can build a bonfire. You can go to the ocean, go to the beach. Lake, pond, waterfall, forest. Forest is an amazing thing. It's like a big giant maze. Just want to get lost in it. But unfortunately, if we get lost, we have to find our way back, because if we don't, then you already know. But anytime you go outside, anywhere, make sure you're safe. Okay, I don't want to be responsible for encouraging anything and you guys possibly getting hurt. So take the necessary precautions, especially if you're going out into the sun. Wear sunscreen. Trust me, my chest is still damaged from when I had my sunburn. Like, you can still see the dark skin, but I'm not gonna show you right now, so. But, if you're gonna go out to the woods, if you feel safe, go ahead. If not, bring someone with you. If you have a dog who's willing to protect you and not run away, bring them. You know, bring them out for a walk. Quite sure that they'd be happy as hell. But also, with Goddess God, introduce yourself. Again, you may not feel anything at first, but yeah. The three easiest elements to come in contact with is obviously earth, water, and fire. Air is the less physical of all four. I mean, we can feel it. We can see it when the wind blows and the trees are moving. But other than that, we can't see it. So, just keep that in mind in case you haven't already figured that out. Not saying that you're stupid. I wouldn't think that, but some people are not always the most intelligent. But I love you. Anyway, another thing is be open. Do not do what I did. I was very, very close-minded when I first started out. Brief history on me is basically, I call myself a Bible beater without a Bible. Basically, I would try and shove my newfound beliefs and thoughts down other people's throats, and it was a very, very bad idea. Do I regret it? I can't really I don't regret anything from my past, but I am ashamed of it. So yeah. But there are gonna be people out there who have a lot more experience than you do, a lot of years, you know, upon their foundation. I mean, even if they're practicing for 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, you never know how many years they've been practicing. Do not shut them out. Maybe they have something that you can utilize. Maybe you can ask them questions, gain some knowledge. They have the experience, and if they're willing to talk to you, be open. Invite them in, you know, ask them questions. Ask them about their experiences, as if they're willing to share. Skimming. And they may also have suggestions, advice. They may have something very, very interesting to say to you. Even if it's, maybe you're being ignorant, and they're gonna tell you straight to your face, you're being ignorant, you can't act that way. It's very, very important that you actually listen to that. And it's very, very true. Not that anybody had come up to me and told me that, but I kind of wish somebody did. But as being solitary and not really knowing a whole lot of pagans around me, I had to learn from experience. And mind you, it took me years in order to figure all this shit out. But also, opening yourself up to others, it can make you a more positive and more knowledgeable person. So you'd be surprised at what can happen. Keep that in mind. Another very, very important thing is know yourself. I know that I'm not the only one who has mentioned this. I know I'm not. But it is a huge, huge part of spiritual development. You have to pay attention to how you respond to others. If you're very, very negative, kind of like me, then you need to figure out why do I act this way? Why do I react the way that I do? What ticks me off? You know, what gets me angry? What can I do in order to keep myself calm and happy, or guard myself from other negative energy? And don't just put the blame on someone else if something is going on, because sure, it may be their fault, but also look at yourself as well. Look deep down inside, find out what the hell is going on, and how are you reacting to the situation that's going on. You know, if they're coming at you and you go at them, how are you doing that? Is it out of defense, or is it something stupid and something completely unrelated and irrational and all that fun stuff? Another thing is what makes you happy? What are your flaws? What are your traits? Your talents, your skills, what are they? Mine is writing. You know, when I actually sit down and I not necessarily concentrate, but when I get inspired, it is a beautiful piece of work that I can work with, that I can create. But if I sit there and I concentrate on it and I make myself think, it doesn't come out as well as it would if it was just spontaneous. Do you have any psychic abilities? Clairvoyance. I also have prophetic dreams every so often. You know, it fluctuates. It can happen often, it can happen not so often, and it can range from a couple of hours to a couple of months that they come true. And no, it's not deja vu. Do not tell me it is deja vu. I know what deja vu is, because I've experienced it. In fact, I experienced it yesterday, I believe it was. So, I know what it is, I've experienced it, I know the difference. Another thing in order to know about yourself is your relationship with others, whether it be parents, siblings, friends, lovers, or lover, you know, as most people have one, such as me. Sorry. You know, look at them. Are they good? Are they bad? What are the reasons why? And all that happy fun shit I already mentioned. Also, what are your beliefs? What do you believe in? Why do you believe in them? What is goddess to you? What is God to you? What are the elements to you? Is there a specific scent when they come about? Is there a specific feeling that you get? What do they look like to you? You know, it could be something as simple as a blob of light, or it could be as complex as a beautiful, gorgeous woman, or a handsome man, or maybe a bird for air. That's just an example. And how would you define your relationship with them? That's another thing. Another thing is, I went the wrong way, apparently. No, I don't. The computer's being a poop. Another thing is, it doesn't have to be extravagant, it doesn't have to be complex or luxurious, but build an altar. It has to be something that means something to you. And even if you don't know the reasons for why you're putting the things that you are on that altar, you will find out why. Maybe it feels right to you. I mean, eventually, over time, you will find out, why is this here? Why is that there? You know, I mean, you can copy the altar setup out of a book, but it's not going to be the same thing. You know, it's not going to mean as much to you as if you were just to do it yourself. I mean, you can use them for inspiration. No, I mean, that's perfectly fine, but in order to completely copy what is in the book, yeah. And you don't have to have expensive tools. When I started out, I had a couple candles and a hand-painted glass bowl that I bought from one of the festivals. I had my wine chalice. An incense holder, very, very cheap, flimsy type thing. And I think that was pretty much it. And a couple of stones that I already owned. Now I just bought a brand new athame. It's a cheap, cute little thing. I will get more into my tools in a different video, and I'll show off my 2 athames. One's a smaller one, so yeah. One is something more simple. Oh, another thing, simple is most likely better. Because if you go big and heavy, well, it's just going to suck up your energy. So, I'm trying to think. And also, an altar can be, you can have it for occasions. Maybe someone unfortunately passed away. Maybe someone was just born. You can have their pictures on there. If they truly meant something to you, then you can have their photos on there. And maybe put like a flower or a candle in front of it. Just make sure that you are very, very careful when lighting the flame. That's not near anything that is flammable. Also, when building your altars, if there's a favorite stone or herb that you have and you're able to obtain it, put it on the altar. Maybe you love mythical creatures. Maybe there's a specific mythical creature that you absolutely love. You can put a representation of that on that altar. So, yeah. Oh, and another thing is, when you build your altar, keep crap off of it. Do not clutter it with a can of soda or a candy wrapper or any type of garbage. Keep it clutter-free. And also, when you have candles, put spaces in between, because if not, it can be a very, very dangerous situation that you're getting yourself into. Because your place could catch on fire. Okay? Yeah. Okay, looks like I'm almost done with this. Other thing is continue your research. Read. Read, 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 read. I cannot stress that enough. Read. Take notes, even if it's like, even if your binder, notebook, whatever becomes like 3 inches thick, just keep on adding notes, and then you can go through them, you can sort them, you can condense them down into a more simplified version of what it is that you obtained. And make sure that you are actually learning what it is that you're reading, because if you just read it, it's just going to go in one side of the head, out the other, instead of, the ears. That's basically, it's going to go in and get sucked right back out. So that's another thing for taking notes, is that you can study them. And also, it is a very, very good way, especially if you have them organized, it is a very good reference. Instead of my bad habit, I would start taking notes and then I'd stop. Oh, now if I want to know something, or if I'm researching something for my blog, I grab like 5 different books. So taking notes eliminates that process and the complexity of searching through all these different books in order to find the information that you're trying to find. And also, when you take notes, another good thing is write down the source of where you got it, because in case you want to go back and see that book again, at least then you know where you got that from. Yay. And then at this point in time, just thinking and feeling and being spiritual is the number one thing that is important in beginning Wicca. Witchcraft is spellcraft, rituals, all that fun stuff. But Wicca is different from witchcraft. Just because you are Wiccan, that doesn't mean that you're a witch, and vice versa. So at this point in time, rituals are not important. I say take a couple months, research, experience, introduce, cultivate, read. Oh my god, read. And then once you're ready, then I would say start off with, I don't want to say a dedication ritual, because it's not something that you take very lightly. But I would suggest starting off with possibly a full moon aspect ritual, and experience the goddess that way. Oh yeah, and if you want to get into ritual craft, research rituals and try and write your own. Don't try and be too complex. When you're first starting out, spending 2-3 hours in a ritual, I speak from experience, is not a good thing. It took me years in order to realize, because of the fact that I am solitary and I had to learn on my own, and it's all trial and error, is it doesn't have to take you that long to experience a ritual. The last ritual I did, it took me total of 45 minutes when I wasn't recording it. When I recorded it, it was about 23 minutes. But that's mainly because it was non-formal when I videotaped it. So I wasn't stopping to feel the energy. So I will get into ritual craft in a different video. I just wanted to brief you on that. So I think that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helps. I hope another thing, before I end this video, sorry, have patience. You need to have patience. Patience is a virtue. I learned that from the Mummy. One of my favorite lines, patience is a virtue. And it can teach you a lot of things. It truly, truly can. Okay, so that's it. This is the end of my remake of Beginning Wicca. Goddess bless. I hope you have a fantastic day, night, whatever it is. And that is all. Thank you for watching, and blessed be.